actual, the mainstream CPUs can get. Like how good they are, right? Because 3rd gen's pretty nice. At least I can say that, right? But imagining what like 4th gen would be, it's crazy. Like, have you seen like 10th gen Intel? 10th gen Intel is like crazy. Hard to hear while you're mining. Okay, yeah. Louder, your mic quieter. Here, I'll move my mic closer. I'll change. I'll turn the blocks a bit down. Oh, blocks are at 100. Let's turn that to like 70. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. Okay, it's better now? Okay, that's good. Where was I? Oh yeah, so like AMD 4th gen, I want to see like, the rise in 4th gen, man. Cause like I'm a little bit hyped, right? Cause have you seen like 10th gen Intel? Cause they really improved 10th gen, right? So now even like the Core i3s do ASMR. Is that a pretty good ASMR for you? We could do more ASMR if you ask. Say pretty please. I don't know if you guys can hear that because like my mic's quiet. Hopefully I almost fell. But yeah, 10th gen Intel is crazy because now you can get like even the Core i3s are amazing. Before it was like, okay, at 2 cores, 4 threads, or 4 cores, 4 threads. Now it's 4 cores, 8 threads. So now it's like on par with the AMD R3s, you know? It's very epic. It's like a really good time to be a consumer of this competition. Okay. Okay, so we should we're at 140,000. So that's pretty pog. Let's get up a bit. Okay, we're finally out. I hear a hoglin over there. Oh, I got that. Shit. Okay. Let's get through here. So trying to navigate through the forest is kind of hard because there's so many trees. Oh, hello. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, 10th gen Intel. The competition is just amazing. And even for the graphics cards, because apparently AMD's new graphics card line that's going to come out is going to be really epic and be like really good competition with Nvidia. Oh. There, I got it. So yeah, the competition that AMD is putting out is crazy because at first they were making mad good competition with Intel for CPUs, and now they're making like a really good. They're making a front on the graphics card line. It's just awesome. Like I don't consider myself an AMD fanboy, and I'm not just like, oh yeah, fuck Intel, fuck Nvidia, AMD all the way out. I'm not like that, but you gotta appreciate the fact how good AMD is getting. Yeah, yeah, Apple left Intel. They're not moving to AMD, but they're planning on making their own CPUs, which is pretty crazy, right? 'Cause what the fuck? Leave me alone. Yeah, so like yeah, Apple is going to like make their own CPUs apparently. You know, they used to do that before. Like back in the day when Apple first started becoming a thing, they didn't Intel was, the obvious choice for CPUs, but like Apple for some reason they didn't want to do that. So they teamed up with IBM and Motorola and they started making their own CPUs. It's called PowerPC, but the profit was being split between the 3 companies and like they still weren't as good as Intel. So they just completely gave up on that and Apple just went over to Intel, you know? That's how it be. But now they're just moving from Intel to like their own CPUs again. It'll be interesting to see like how they do that shit. Because now there's gonna be 3 competitors in the market, which is AMD, Intel, and Apple, making their own CPUs, which is like pretty crazy. You have to use their own chips and the iPads, and they'd be faster than most Intel chips. Yeah, because Yeah, because like a lot of mobile ones, they don't use like Intel chips. They use like Qualcomm apparently, and like whatever else. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Because Apple technically has some experience making their own CPUs, right? So they could actually compete. Like maybe not now. They might not be like a straight. Of course, okay. Actually, if Apple's producing it, they're not gonna be like, oh yeah, here we're making CPUs. No, they're gonna stuff that in their own products. So you probably won't be able to buy an Apple CPU and put it in your own custom system. Maybe, but I doubt it because based on like the fact that Apple doesn't allow that for like a lot of their other devices, like like you can't get a MacBook and be able to change the RAM or something. I don't know about like the Mac Pros, but the MacBooks, you can't really alter them or like upgrade them on your own. You have to straight up buy them, and that's like probably the main reason I don't like Apple because I can't like upgrade the shit I buy. I don't really have a problem with Mac OS. It's just that like I like being able to upgrade my stuff, right? Like I was trying to upgrade my laptop back then. Honestly, can you upgrade the RAM in the MacBook? No, not anymore. Apparently they soldered the RAM on, so you can't even remove them. You can probably change the SSD. That should be like a basic fundamental thing that every laptop you should be able to change the storage to some extent, right? But apparently they're taking away the ability to change the RAM, which in my opinion really sucks. Because that means you can't ever upgrade it. Unless you just want, like a few hundred gigabytes more storage in your SSD or something, but no, you can't change your RAM. That's another reason why I start to like like desktops more than laptops, because desktops, I can literally customize anything about that. Like, I could just completely change that thing however I wanted to, and I don't have to worry about anything. But laptops, much more compact, much more complicated, and they're not really designed to be like messed around with in that sense, right? So now laptops are like the equivalent of a phone to me. Suppose you can get like 1 TB of RAM. It's crazy and costs like. Yeah, I know. Like the Mac Pros are like insane. Like a fucking terabyte of RAM. Imagine what you could do with that. Like that's not even like consumer level, like practical. Like no one person would ever need a terabyte of RAM. You know what I'm saying? Like Linus Tech Tips. He made a video. He was like, oh, what can you do with 2 TB of RAM? And he had like a Threadripper, I think, right? Or maybe it was an AMD Ryzen like Epic one. So like he had a powerful ass CPU, 2 TB of RAM. He was opening like almost 100,000 Chrome tabs. I think it was like 60,000 Chrome tabs, right? And the RAM was it barely even took up any RAM. Like it was like a few hundred gigabytes of RAM, right? But what really gave it was the CPU. The CPU couldn't handle all that RAM. The CPU couldn't handle all those Chrome tabs. The RAM was perfectly fine. So 1 TB of RAM, but like, what the fuck would you do with that? I barely even have a terabyte of like storage, let alone RAM. Like that's just like insane. Oh, okay, we're at 144,000. Like, imagine what you could freaking do with a terabyte of RAM. Like apparently, right? Like some NASA thingy program thing or some space related program that was doing with gravitational waves, and they had like a massive supercomputer that used like 4 TB of RAM. Exactly, it's for professional stuff. Like no like individual person on their own computer, like person on their own PC, would ever need more than like 64 gigabytes of RAM. 128 gigabytes if you really, really need it. I don't know, if you like have some like insane video editing and some stuff like that. But once you hit like 128 gigabytes and up, then you're hitting like professional stuff, right? But yeah, apparently that there was some like NASA stuff, but like some NASA related stuff, and they were doing some kind of project with gravitational waves, and their setup had like a few petabytes of storage and like 4 TB of RAM, and that I can understand because they're probably doing something like insane shit right there, right? The best part of anything about the Apple is the software, though. I guess you could say that. I don't have experience with macOS, but from my experience, it's sorry, not from my experience, but from what I've heard, it's like pretty nice. All right. So I don't know if you're like all with macOS, then sure, that's I respect that. You know, a lot of people do Hackintoshes where they imagine stimulating the universe must take a crap ton of RAM. Holy crap! Oh, I can't even begin to imagine how much RAM that would take. You know, like in a single human brain can store 5 petabytes of storage. Apparently, imagine that. So, okay, let's say the human brain's storage, whatever, everything that you remember, is 5 petabytes maximum, right? Because apparently that's the limit. Now let's say there's 7 billion humans, so 7 billion times 5 petabytes, it's gonna be 35 billion petabytes of storage just to hold the memories and everything of one of all humans, and then you still have to like hold on to like the world and everything else that's happening and like the minds of other creatures. Imagine it's imagine how much storage you need. Imagine how much RAM, computing power. That's just like insane, beyond anything that we could ever fathom anytime soon. You know. Okay, we're pretty high up. We should probably try digging a bit lower. But yeah, look at the fucking computing power that you need to simulate a universe, or let alone a planet. Because not only are we simulating Earth and all the people on Earth, we're talking about other species, other things that are happening on Earth, freaking space, whatever other aliens there might be out there. If there are aliens out there, which I believe in aliens, pretty much. Right? Anyways, right? Imagine like all that computing power. You'd have to freaking be able to do all of that. It's not even the RAM that's like insane. It's just everything that you need. Like everything about the computer has to be like insanely powerful. It's hard to fathom anything, man. Like just seeing someone with like more than like 32 gigabytes of RAM is like, whoa, that's a lot. And seeing anyone with more than like, I don't know, like a few terabytes of storage is like, damn, that guy's does some mad shit right there, right? Oh no, no. Okay, I almost went into lava. Okay, right? Aliens be spooky, yeah. Like, cause it's a bit of an interesting thing, right? Because we don't know what they look like. We don't know. We almost know nothing about any aliens. Because we don't even know if they we don't have any proof that they actually exist. We only know that they statistically probably should exist. It's just weird that we haven't seen them, right? Which is actually pretty cool because then there's like what was it? Not the Fermi paradox. Well, it's related to the Fermi paradox, but the Great Filter, right? Because like it's like it's like an explanation for why we haven't ever seen any aliens. And basically, one second, negative X, so we're still going in the right direction. Okay. So basically, it talks about like how there must be a reason why we haven't seen aliens, right? And it's assuming that like aliens or all other species have died out or haven't advanced to the point where they're able to communicate to like in space, like fuck. Like it talks about like how like why there's no other alien races or anything, alien species that have advanced to the point where they can communicate in space. Whoa. Okay, hold on. Right, it talks about like why it's basically saying that no other aliens, if they exist or have existed, have reached the point or have advanced enough to be able to communicate across space, pretty much, right? Or start interstellar travel or communication or anything. It basically talks about how either no other race has advanced to the point where humanity has advanced to, right? Because we've advanced to the point where we've been able to evolve to this point, right? And it's like, okay, maybe no other alien race has advanced that far. Maybe like at like the microscopic level, it's like almost impossible to advance farther, right? Or on the other hand, it might also be the other case is that um, all other races have advanced to the point where humans have, but they all got wiped themselves out. And they all eventually end up dying. Meaning that humanity is only like, like a short time away from killing themselves, like taking themselves out. And that's like something that affects all races, right? So all races will eventually just, destroy themselves, right? Which is a bit of a scary thing. So it's either the way, depending on how you look at the Great Filter, either humanity is in a really good position where we are extremely advanced and we're the most advanced life form in the universe, or we are in a problem, like a state of almost like peril or something, where we are only a ticking time bomb. Oh my god. Where we're pretty much only a ticking time bomb until eventually we suffer the same fate. Holy crap. Or eventually we suffer the same fate as other aliens or other species. Okay. Right? And that's like, so there's like, but there's actually another possibility where it's like, no, it's not like we're just gonna end up kill each other off on our own. But rather, there might be some superior, like, godlike species, which in actuality just takes out all other species that could eventually rival them, right? To get rid of the competition, right? It's almost like some god race almost. And then they see like an up-and-coming thriving species, like humanity, for example. They're like, okay, these guys, they could eventually evolve or, advance themselves to the point where they would become a competitor for us, and that would cause war. We don't want that. So they eventually just destroy us, or a race like ours, right? That's another possibility. So either we've advanced the farthest out of every other species in the universe. Oh, wow, that's pretty convenient. Or we are just like any other species, and we only have a matter of time left before we end up destroying ourselves. Or there's just another race out there that destroys all the other races to stay on top. It's an interesting thing. But ultimately, if we were to meet alien races and we eventually came into conflict with them, it makes me wonder, because would that eliminate racism and like our own conflicts within humanity? Like, because, there's already enough like stuff like racism or like classism or like things where like humans hate or try to attack other humans, right? But if humans came to war with another race, would that change the problem and make it so that all humans unite instead of diverging and like constantly fighting each other? Or would we unite? It's an interesting thing. Like, if we all had a common enemy, would we band together and set our differences aside? It's an interesting thought experiment. Or not even a thought experiment, it's just an interesting thought. My life's just doing pretty good. Let's get some more experience for my pickaxe. Yeah, I should probably get experience for my pickaxe, actually. There's no piglins. Okay. What do you think, though? Do you think, like, humanity could ever set our differences aside if we all had a common enemy? Like some alien race or something? Because I'm not sure. Part of me is hopeful that we could, but there's also, like, a lot of retards. I feel like, for the most part, yes. But yeah, there's gonna be those idiots. They're just gonna be, like, it's gonna ruin for everyone. Oh yeah, the virus is kind of like a common enemy. Yeah, that's kind of a good example actually. Try to side with the aliens and betray us. I'm actually not even surprised if that would actually. I'm pretty sure that would probably. Whoa. Okay, that would probably happen actually. Because like, there's just gonna be like a few of the countries that just like it's gonna ruin it for everyone and be like, yeah, you know what, fuck you guys. The aliens are probably have like a deal like, okay, if you guys side with us and we win, you guys can be in charge of the entire planet. Like, okay, hell yeah, and then they just do that. After I do this project, Canada's doing pretty good. The virus what the governments really care about. Yeah, I think I can agree with that actually. Because part of me wants to say that just like, oh yeah, Americans are dumb. But to an extent, it's not just that. It's also the way the government handles things. And I guess, yeah, apparently the Scandinavian countries, a lot of them are doing really well. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just happy that, Canada's doing pretty nice. And we're not doing too bad. Maybe that's also because America has, like, a ton more people than we do. Because we're still only, like, 35 million, and we're, like, our population density is pretty low. But if you look at America, they're 300, they're, like, 10 times the population than we do. So that might also be a reason, because they just have more people, so the chances are you're going to have more stupid retards. We go to Japan, too. I think I heard something about South Korea doing pretty nice. But yeah. Oh, man. Oh, okay. We made it through. Well, it's because they're normalized. Yeah, normalized. Okay. Yeah. You ever seen, like, anime or, like, in the webtoons? They're, like, you always see them wearing masks and stuff. Wearing masks is... I actually always liked that style. Wearing a mask. Like, there was this YouTuber, right? Pyrocynical. He had a really cool mask in his... face mask in his merch. Which is so cool. I want to wear that, man. I really love that fashion sense. We're at 150,000. So we're doing pretty good. And we're almost at the 3